Alright, hello, welcome to this video. I'm going to be talking about the Korg Little Bits synthesizer. That's what you see in front of you. These are little magnetic pieces that connect to one another and do various functions in a synthesizer environment. So we're going to begin with the basics here, and I'm going to unplug some of these things that are in the middle. And right now we're looking at three little modules here. One is called a sequencer. You see that there. And this one is called an oscillator. See that there. And then at either end we have the output over here. This is connected to a headphone jack. And then over here is the power. And that simply comes from a 9-volt battery. Alright, if I turn this on, you can hear that. I also have a reverb hooked up, so you can hear that echoing there. But basically, we are getting sound from this oscillator, which will produce a voltage that oscillates up and down, moves up and down, and creates those changes in voltage, which then go to our amplifier section here and can be sent over to my speakers. So this knob here is going to control the pitch. So if I turn it down, you see my pitch goes up. If I turn it down, the pitch goes down. If I turn it up, pitch goes up. I have a fine-tuned knob right here, and then I can choose either a square wave or a sawtooth wave. This guy here is what is generating this pulse. And I have 4 knobs. It is a sequencer that will simply play 4 different note values, I suppose, or pitch values, depending on where these knobs are set. So right now the first knob here is that high note. And then I have a speed knob here. And then I can change the overall pitch from here. All right, let's add some functionality here. I'm going to add in a envelope generator. That's what this guy is right here. That will generate what's called a amplitude envelope. And that will sound like this. Let me slow this down. Envelope has 2 controls on it, attack and decay. So the attack is how the sound starts. It's the very first part of the sound, and the attack is going to control whether that sound begins immediately or if it fades in a little bit. So if I turn it up, you see the sound is now fading in each time it gets a pulse from the sequencer. The decay is going to tell you how the sound ends, or it's going to allow you to control how the sound ends. So I can make a short note or long notes, right? If each of them are turned all the way down, I get almost no notes. Now I'm going to add what's called a filter. So the filter is going to shape the overall characteristic of the sound in this way. It has a cutoff and a resonance knob, which actually is called peak on this particular module. But this basically allows you to control the frequency content of the sound. This is what's called a low pass filter. So those low frequencies will be passing through unaffected, but the higher frequencies are going to be cut off. So that's why the first knob is called the cutoff knob. Now, that might be a little bit blurry, but it says cutoff right there, and then peak over here. And the peak just gives me the, I guess, the relative harshness of that cutoff. So if the peak is down and I turn the cutoff knob, we don't get a very defined sound, but if I turn the peak up, now we get more of that wah-wah sound. Alright, now I'm going to add one more piece just for fun. I'm going to add another oscillator here to control the filter. And I need to add in a couple of other connections here just to make this possible. And so this other oscillator is going to be controlling the filter, and you'll hear how that works. So this oscillator is now controlling the cutoff of this particular filter, and I can speed it up to get that kind of wet sound. Or if I turn it down, now we can hear a more gradual decrease in that cutoff frequency over time. Alright, so again, just to summarize, we have the sequencer here producing each of these pitches in sequence. That's controlling this oscillator. The oscillator is then sending its signal to both this oscillator, which will control the cutoff frequency, and it's also sending it through this envelope generator to give us some shape to the amplitude of the sound. And then that also goes through the filter here as well, and then onto the output. So hope you have enjoyed this simple introduction to the Korg Little Bits synthesizer modules. Thanks for watching.